test ride that could go on for days. Thing's an absolute hoot to ride. I was just thinking, Evel Knievel, the legend himself, used to jump multiple buses with this thing. Talk about balls of steel. I mean, the guys that do it today, hats off to them, but they're doing it on modern 450s with a foot of suspension. He had these little tiny shocks and maybe 6 inches of front suspension travel on a very similar to machine to this, but what an absolutely outstanding example of an Ironhead Sportster. If you look at our new company logo is a Ironhead Sportster and a 79 CR250, kind of an era when I was a youngster and impressionable, and this motorcycle won my heart the first time I saw one when I was about 10 years old. The profile of this engine from this side right here is, to me, if you looked up what a Harley-Davidson engine should look like in Wikipedia, that's it right there. It's just absolutely freaking gorgeous. This is a 79 Roadster, very rare. It's the highest performance model Sportster from the era. It's 1,000 cc's. This one, a friend of mine in Florida owned this bike. He was getting up there in years and sold me his collection of motorcycles. A little over, well, coming up on 2 years. Daytona Bike Week 2 years ago is when I bought this when I went down to Florida. And I'm going down in about 6 weeks. So if you're in Florida and you want to sell a collection of bikes, I'm coming down. And this bike has been a long-term love affair project for me. When I got it, the bike had low miles. It ran good, but it had the original cosmetics on it. The bike's 45 years old. So we went on a journey, a almost 2-year journey on and off working on this bike. The work order totaled up to 74 hours for the techs that worked on it. It doesn't include my time going to Florida and buying it and seeing it through the shop, in and out of the shop multiple times, in and out of the detail shop, the paint shop, the service shop. Everything's been done on this bike. We stripped it. Once we got it back here and went through and confirmed all the mechanics were good on it, got it running and tuned well, we stripped it right down to just the engine, cases, cylinder, and the swing arm. Everything else came off the bike, including the entire front end. And anything that wasn't like new was either plated, polished, or replaced. Started at the front end of the bike. The fork lowers were in excellent original condition. They had the factory clear coat on it. That was stripped off in a 3-stage polishing process. It takes about 4 hours labor just to do the fork lowers. And the fork uppers weren't up to my high standards for this project, so we bought a brand new set of the Forking by Frank exact replacements for the originals. They're 2-inch over the standard Sportster. The XLS Roadster had a raked out front end with this 2-inch longer forks, and those are brand new. The internals have all been rebuilt with new seals, new rubbers. The front wheel went to the detail shop where it was vapor blasted and stripped of all the paint. And the rim, this is a very, very labor intensive process, sanding and polishing all the aluminum on the rim strip and all the centerpieces, and then taping the whole thing off and painting it again. Replaced the wheel bearings. So the front wheel was completely reconditioned. And if you look at the hairy nubs on here, it's a brand new. That's the first time I've ridden it up and down the street since the tire went on. It's got maybe 1.5 miles on it. I would have gone on a much longer ride, but it's the middle of winter. So the front wheel is completely restored. The forks are completely restored. The original front fender was restored and painted the original black gloss color. The brake system's completely rebuilt. The calipers were rebuilt. The original rotors were in good condition, so we left them the way they were. New brake pads. It's got braided stainless brake lines on it. The master cylinder was rebuilt. You can see it has a new chrome brake lever on here. The original Harley-Davidson bars were retained because I like that style. The original gauges are intact and in excellent condition. We replaced the riser with a brand new chrome Harley-Davidson riser, about a 2-inch rise. The original turn signals were in good condition. The clutch lever was also replaced with a new chrome one. The horn button was replaced. The bulbs were replaced. And all the electrical works great. The turn signals, electric start, the horn, the headlight, high and low beam, everything works beautifully on it. The headlight nacelle was polished. The bars were cleaned and polished. The fuel tank was repainted in a really cool classic color combo, which is a cream white in the middle, bright white on the as a pinstripe, and then the gloss black. It just is a really cool racy classic look to it. Love the Roadster style tank. This is a saddle the bike came with that didn't need any work, so it was in good shape. The rear fender was stripped and repainted. It has a brand new license plate mount with Kaplan Cycles custom plate on there. It has a new LED taillight on there. The engine was gone through and fully tuned. All new fluids, new gear oil, new engine oil, new spark plugs. The carb was dismantled, cleaned, and rebuilt and tuned. The fuel petcock and fuel lines were replaced. The air filter was replaced with this custom, really cool looking air filter. The pipes, the drag pipes that were on there, the chrome was worn, so we put a brand new set of pipes on there. They sound wicked, nothing like an Ironhead with drag pipes on it. It just sounds so good. The engine was gone through top to bottom, cleaned, detailed. All the aluminum was polished on it. None of the gaskets leak. The top end's super tight. The compression is perfect. You can see the aluminum engine covers are all polished. All the hardware is new chrome hardware. The original brake lever was polished. The Roadster came from the factory with these forward highway pegs, which is real nice. We did put new highway pegs and new rider pegs on here. So you have brand new rubbers on the original peg mounts. The chain and sprockets, if you take a look, you'll see it's a chrome chain. We usually normally go, I like gold chains, but on this bike, the chrome just matched better. We went with the new chrome sprocket. The rear wheel got the same treatment. The rear wheel was completely dismantled. All the aluminum was sanded, 3-stage process and polished, very labor intensive. That was vapor blasted and repainted the entire black center, and a new Dunlop tire was mounted on it. So coming around this side of the bike here, you can see the rear brake system was rebuilt, the rear caliper was rebuilt, the master cylinder was rebuilt, and a new rear rotor was mounted, a drilled rotor. It's got an upgraded set of progressive suspension, about an inch longer than stock, so the thing just rides like a Cadillac. The new tires, the new forks, the new shocks, it rides better than it ever did brand new. The original aluminum fender strut is in beautiful condition. That's been polished on both sides. The original fuel oil tank has been repainted on both sides, gloss black to match the fuel tank. The primary side of the engine has been completely refinished, sanded, polished. The pegs new, the shifter tips new, the highway pegs are new. The bell housing for the horn, the chrome cover has been replaced. You can see it has new spark plugs, new spark plug wires. The whole entire engine's been repainted, the heads and the engine cases, the original colors exactly how it left the factory. Swing arm's been repainted. Most of the frame has been repainted, and the bike was carefully reassembled, and anything that it needed was done. Went in and out of the service shop a few times, so it was tuned perfectly. Went out of the detail shop a few times, so it was every piece of it looked beautiful. And the people who have seen it have said it looks brand new. There's really not any surfaces that haven't been touched on the bike. The bike's 45 years old. It's been completely reconditioned from top to bottom. Some of the original chrome shows a little patina, like on the upper part of the original factory Harley-Davidson oil cooler, but we didn't want to mess with that. When we rebuilt the calipers, you can see we put new caliper inserts on there, reproduction caliper inserts. The bleeder was replaced, the lines were replaced, and you can see it was vapor blasted and polished, so it looks like it just came out of the box in 1979. So you got to ask yourself, okay, what's an Ironhead, a decent running Ironhead Sportster today that needs a complete restoration is still going to be worth, a good running one is going to be worth $3 to $5 grand. And what would it take you to take it down to the frame like we did and spend the next year or so reconditioning every component on the bike? Well, I don't know what the shops in your area charge, but around here it's $150 an hour. The work order that I have for this bike totaled just over $12,000. That included parts, paint, and labor, 74 hours shop labor. So I'll have this all written up. The bike's going to be put on eBay auction. If you're interested in purchasing it, give my son Kenny Jr. a call, 860-454-7024. It's an absolutely stunning piece. I love the way it looks. It came out great, runs awesome. We also replaced the Sportster primary. Take a look at this logo on this side of the engine right here. This is not a reproduction. This is an actual NOS new OEM Sportster decal that I bought off of eBay. It's a metallic decal with an embossed stripe around it. It was $80 just for that decal right there. So You can buy reproduction ones for less, but that's the right one, and I was able to get my hands on one. I probably forgot half of what was done to it over the last year. Oh, you know, little things like this new frame, the new billet stay for the clutch cable. There's a whole bunch of stuff that I'd have to read off the work order. I won't bore you with that. It will be typed up in the eBay description. So, and the reserve on this bike will be less than what, not only the cost of the bike, than just what the work order was. So you're definitely better off buying a restored motorcycle than it is doing it yourself, unless you can do all of these things yourself. Unless you're a professional painter, a professional polisher, and a professional mechanic, and you got an eye for these things, you're better off buying one that's done, because it's going to take you a long time. Unless it's a labor of love, like a lot of our projects are. In addition to the new battery, we also put a battery tender lead on it right here, so you can plug this into the wall and keep it charged. Doesn't need anything. It's ready to go. It's going to be on display here with our other vintage classic Harleys in the New England Motorcycle Museum on the 3rd floor. We're on the 2nd floor here. If you want to come take a look at it, give us a call or call Junior at 860-454-7024. We can ship this anywhere in the world for you. We can finance it through Freedom Road if you want to finance this motorcycle. And as far as the value of it, it's only going to go up from here. It's obviously at 45 years old, it's an antique. It's going to increase in value every year, unlike buying a new $20,000 motorcycle, and next year it's worth 15, and in 10 years it's worth 7 to 10. This motorcycle, whatever you pay for it, it's going to go up, and you'll have the full provenance, all the records of everything we did to it. We also take trade-ins in addition to financing, and we can ship this white glove roll-on service anywhere in the continental U.S. So if you've been thinking of getting a kick-ass Ironhead, there's really has never been a better Ironhead than the Roadster. The only one I would put above this is the XLCR Cafe Racer. I have a beautiful one on the very end of the other side of the museum over there. I have a stunning 77 that's on display here. Same exact engine, very similar frame, but the Cafe Racer style. But this Roadster is really, really as good as it gets for an Ironhead. Thanks for watching. God bless America, and long live Harley-Davidson.